Hello, my name is Commando Player and I use Commando in Risk Rain 2. I like using the shotgun thing for his secondary, and I like using the slide. I think it's better than the roll. And I don't know if other people like this, but I like suppressive fire. It's kind of iffy. And I like the Seeker's skin. Okay, so that was just the intro. I hope you guys liked it. So next up, I'm going to tell you why I like using Commando so much. So he has really good single target with his pistols and like his suppressive fire. He's good at stunning things with suppressive fire. I like his mobility with the rolling. And I also kind of like frag grenades, not as good though. And yeah, I also like his shotgun for close range. I think you're kind of dumb if you like the phase blast. It's really good. So yeah, that's the segment of the video. Stating my opinion on the character Huntress with like the bow and arrow that he's using and running. I like the big bow and arrow that shoots a bunch of arrows at once. Really good to get a big hit. I also kind of like I like phase blings instead of the really long phase bling thing. And instead of using the arrow ray, I use the watches. That's what it's called, Zero Watcher or Ballista. And then for secondaries, I use the laser blade because I have to use the laser blade. Yeah, well that was this segment of the video, and I think Huntress is a good character. Yay. Okay, so I just did the Huntress part, now it's time for the Bandit part. Wow. So I'll be talking about Bandit. So my favorite primary is, I don't really care about the primaries. They both kind of suck. Then I kind of like the throwing knife, is that what it's called? I don't know. I like it more than the normal knife because melee weapons kind of suck unless you're using a melee character. Then there's like the invisible thing, I like that a lot. And then for my revolver, I do not use Lights Out because Lights Out sucks. And it has like, and half the time in late game you won't kill anything, so yeah, use Desperado. And my favorite skin is probably the Mastery one. I like this little skull hat. And I forgot to say this in the last Huntress part, but my favorite skin for Huntress is the Seekers of the Storm one. I think it's called like Woodland or something. Okay, so I did the Bandit bit, and I hope you liked it. Next I'm doing Artificer. So this one is multi right now. So multi has a bunch of primaries, like he has a nail gun, rebar, whatever the missile one is called, and the power saw. I like using nail gun, and nail gun is my main one. And my secondary one, I like using rebar puncher. Is that what it's called? I feel like it is. And then if you're not using retool, I don't know why you're not using retool. You kind of need to use retool. Although if you want, you could use power surge, although retool is a lot better in my opinion. So yeah, he has a very short bit. He's also really good if you want to get that item. You need to have plus 200% movement speed with that one ability that makes him move really fast. So yeah, that was the multi part. Next up is Artificer. Bye. Okay, so I just did the part with multi, and like I said in that part, now I am doing Artificer. Also in the part with multi, I forgot to mention my favorite skin. He doesn't have many good skins, so I guess I'd go with his Seekers of the Storm skin, but now it's time to do my Artificer stuff. So Artificer is overall a really good character, so I really enjoy Artificer. I usually use the fire thing instead of the ion surge. It does less like hit damage, but it lets him on fire, which I like, especially if you get ignition tanks. Although you can use either, and they're both good. Then, when it comes to the ice wall, you kind of have to use the ice wall. It's the only option. So it's still really good if you get a bunch of stacks of purity, because then you can just spam it on Mithrix and kill him like instantly. So then, yeah, and then for the like heavy damage, there's like two options. There's flamethrower, or there's the knife one. Why does he knife? I meant ice one. the ice one I usually use instead of the knife one. And then, why do I keep saying the knife one? Well, never mind. And then for the last thing, I use the like the one that shoots you up in the air. I forgot what the other option is, but I just remember I used the one that shoots you up in the air. So that was that part. Bye. Until the next part. Okay, so I just did the artificer bit, and I also forgot to mention what skin I like for that one. I like the default skin. So now it's time to do the bit for Mercenary. So Mercenary is a melee character, which is one of the 3 melee characters, 4 if you're counting the guy from the DLC. But his whole thing is that he can move really fast. He's a really good character. Honestly, I wouldn't change any of his abilities except for the one that lets you do the dash. So yeah, he's really cool. And my favorite skin is probably Frail. Looks cool. Although I do kind of like how they had a collab with Dead Cells, because I played that game. And the Mercenary has something kind of similar to Huntress, where you can use some of his abilities while he's running. And yeah, this part was really short, and that was the part. Bye. Okay, so next character, and this character is interesting. It is Rex. So Rex, normally I would do his default stuff except for the push. I feel like the other version of the push is better. But if you are playing on Eclipse where damage is permanent, then any ability of self-damage is useless, and a lot of his attacks, a lot of his purposes become useless. So basically, don't use Rex if you're playing on Eclipse difficulty. But other than that, he's a pretty solid character for people who aren't the best, because he can heal really easily. He has a slot, and he's one of those characters that's kind of convoluted to unlock. You kind of have to get a power cell from your escape pod thing that you shoot down to. Then you have to bring it all the way to the lava place. I think it's what is it called? The Tectonic Ruins. I think that's what his description is. I don't remember what it's actually called. And you have to find him, and you give him the battery, and then you unlock him as a character. I probably should have mentioned how to unlock some other convoluted characters. I'll just throw that how to unlock Bandit in here. So to unlock Bandit, you have to get to level 5, align the primordial teleporter thing with the planet. Then you have to get to level 3, go through a blue portal, then interact with this thing, and then you die, and then you have Mercenary. The other characters I've covered are less convoluted to unlock. I guess you could struggle unlocking Artificer, but I'm not going to tell you how to unlock Artificer. Bye. Okay, so now it's time for Loader. Loader is one of my favorite characters in the whole game. Loader is another melee character, so kind of like Mercenary, who I covered in the last bit. And Loader has really high damage abilities, depending on which set you do. I usually do all alternate, so instead of the normal grapple, I do the spiked fist, so you can shoot people that have damaged them, and you can pull them in to hit them with your melees. I like using, instead of the normal charge fist, the quick charge one that does a lot of damage. If I'm correct, it does 2,000% damage, which is insane for that game. Then instead of using the power pylon turret swinger things, I use the slam down, because it does insane damage and it stuns, which stunning in that game is very useful on enemies such as Goldens and stuff like that, and Halcyonites. Even though if you don't have the DLC, you're not going to be fighting Halcyonites. But since you can reset their animation, which makes them have to take a while. And my favorite skin is default. And like I did in the last part, to unlock the Loader, it's another convoluted thing. You have to get to stage 4, hope that it is Siren's Call, go around to break these alloyed vulture eggs. Then they'll summon in the alloy warship unit, and it will be like a little boss fight. You fight it, you kill it, you unlock Loader, and yeah, that was this part. This is the Acrid part, and here's my description. Acrid is a bad character. Okay, so this is the captain. The captain, you have to just beat the game to unlock him, and he's a really solid character. He has no alternate primaries, no alternate secondaries. Well, his normal primary, I should probably tell you, it's a shotgun. You can like charge it up for a more accurate blast. He also, his secondary is a taser, which stuns, which I already told that I like stunning. It doesn't do like that much damage, it only does like 10%. So if you want to kill something, do not use the taser. Then for his other two abilities, well, why did I say his other two? Well, I meant to say his like airstrike ability I like. He can call down an airstrike. It has a lot of charges. Unless you're using the dynamo strike, that is essentially a nuclear bomb. I'm pretty sure that its damage in the game is actually like 400,000% damage, so you can insta-kill literally anything. Although it does have like a really long cooldown. But if you stack Purity, it becomes the best item in the game because Purity reduces cooldowns. So if you get like 20, no cooldown for it, and then you become like the most overpowered thing, and you can kill Mithrix in like 5 seconds. So that is that. And wait, why did I say that is that? That makes it sound like I'm finishing up this part. But then for his like support pylons, he has the ammo one, which is bad, the healing one, which is mid, the tasing one, which I'm pretty sure it stuns, so I like it. And he has the worth every cent one. I kind of just called it that because that's what it's called, and I think it's solid. Yeah. So that was this part. And my favorite skin for him is the default skin. All his other skins are ugly. Especially the Seekers of the Storm skin. I don't know why he'd ever use that. He looks weird. So this is Engineer, and why did I say this is Engineer? Like he's right like here. I guess during that part I'll pull up an image. Tell me if that actually is there in the comments. And then, so Engineer is a good character, except for his primary. His bouncy grenades are not good. But, so that's why you usually can just replace it with Visions of Heresy, so you can get those weird ones. They're still not good, but it's better than the bouncy grenade. He gets good with all his other abilities though. So for his secondary, he can have the combat shield, which makes a little shield, or he can have the missile harpoons. It's kind of obvious. What would you rather have, a shield or missiles? Missiles, what I would choose. I don't know if you choose a shield. But then after that, he has is it either landmines next or the turrets next? I'm just gonna do the landmines. So he has two kinds of landmine. That's his default landmines, which are the bad landmines, and his spider landmines, which are the good landmines. Because the spider landmines arm instantly, and they can move to hit things easier. And his starting landmines take like a while to actually shoot. So then for his turrets, there's the stationary turret. They both inherit your items, which I like. I don't like the stationary turret because you place it down and then you leave it and it just stays there forever. But I prefer using the mobile one. I think they're called like the Gauss turrets. And although if you do have stationary turrets, there's one good synergy. If you get the bustling fungus with stationary turrets and stand near a turret, you become unkillable. So that was Engineer. Oh, my favorite skin is the Seeker skin that I think it's called like HC Tech or something. It's either HC Tech or HV Tech. So this was my video. It's time for the outro. I will be outroing currently. And if you want to see a definitive tier list that is right and you cannot disagree with it, go watch a YouTube short. I'm making a YouTube short about a tier list of risk rating characters, but bye. Outro.